Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. Due to your comments, I recently found out that Lindsey Stirling and Lzzy Hale did a collaboration together. This song is called Shatter Me, and that's what we're going to listen to today. I know of Lindsey Stirling as that violinist who crosses genres. You know, violin is typically very classical in nature, but she'll play any kind of music, and that's really cool. She also dances, which is extra cool. Now, of course, Lzzy Hale, we've seen on the channel before, amazing, powerhouse, like rock star female vocals, which is exactly what Lindsey Stirling was looking for, but she didn't actually write this song for Lzzy. She thought about a singer kind of a la Amy Lee Evanescence and eventually got connected to Lzzy. I'm really excited to hear what the two sound like together, so let's get to it.
I pirouette in the dark, I see the stars through a mirror. Tired mechanical heart, beat till the song disappears. Somebody shine a light, I'm frozen by the fear in me. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me.
Whoa, very, very powerful beginning. Wow, that high Shatter Me was goosebump inducing. Wow, I have so many goosebumps right now. It almost sounded like you had this like epiglottis involved in the gurgle of that was behind it. Oh, it was cool. Very cool. I love getting to see this kind of setup to analyze when you have, so this is for Sirius XM, I believe, and it's amazing because this is a live performance. They're not going to be doing much futzing with it on the other end. Music videos, I like seeing the creativity of an artist and maybe the direction they want to take the story. But this kind of setup is, you get to see exactly what's happening on the mouth and throat and body breath level. So it's really, really fun to get to see. I was noticing a lot of really great movements already from Lzzy's mouth. Now, I'm going to go back to the beginning of this. I was trying to get my head wrapped around some of the various influences. I love the bending of a note that Lindsey did at one point. It almost felt like something from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It was super, super beautiful. And a quick note, this song, this was written about Lindsey's struggle, or I think the entire album was actually about Lindsey's struggle with an eating disorder. So Shatter Me is about trying to break free from yourself from various constraints that are put there. We'll get more into those lyrics in a little bit.
I pirouette in the dark, I see the stars through a mirror. Tired mechanical heart, beat till the song disappears.
Songwriting-wise, it seems like Lzzy is able to deliver these raw lyrics of the things that are happening, but the violin is echoing with this emotional response. I like this back and forth and the story that they're telling together.
Somebody shine a light.
Cool drum box.
Frozen by the fear in me. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. So cut me from the line. I'm dizzy, spinning endlessly. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me.
such a cool combo. I love it. I obviously have a deep-rooted love in classical music, but it's so cool to hear this raw vocal that is also technically well produced, in combination with really beautiful violin playing. Thank you to everybody that told me about this. I appreciate that recommendation so very much. So thank you. I love the amount of grit that Lzzy can put into her vocals. And it sounds like she can add and take away different amounts. I like that control a lot. I also just love the power that she has behind it. It looks like she's taking that power as it should be taken, which is from lower breathing. She's not using like a ton of higher breathing. That would mean that the air could very quickly escape and hit the larynx with too much pressure. You want to have more lower support to help. You do need breath pressure often for more power, but if you sustain it from a lower spot, it's a lot easier on the larynx. So ultimately, you should have more endurance. So that's something I like about her singing. I love the wide mouth. She's really, she's using the space inside, opening up a lot of times for really clear vowels. And obviously shaping these sounds so that we've got that raw grit kind of feeling. Very nice. Let's go back just a little bit. Oh, there was a really cool thing in this violin, there was a little violin break here. I was noticing she had a lot of repeated notes, and violin, just by the nature of it, when you repeat the notes, they can't be legato. It's the same thing on piano. You have to hit the key again. With the violin, you have to do different bow strikes back and forth, essentially to hit the same note and re-articulate it rather than just holding it. And I feel like that was had a nice jarring, jagged effect to it, which would reflect then on Shatter Me.
Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. Shatter me. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. If only the clockwork could speak.
Notice, let's go back just a little, no, it's too far back here. Let's see if we can get that in between spot. Yeah, right there. Okay. Notice the stance that Lzzy has. You see actually a lot of operatic tenors take a stance where they have one foot in front of the other. I've seen it from some metal vocalist powerhouses as well. That extra foot can often help you dig into the floor and look for like even more support, essentially by channeling the energy down lower. And it's another way of being able to continue that power without having it produce tons of vocal fatigue.
The clockwork could speak, I wouldn't be so alone. We burn every magnet in the spring and spiral into the unknown. Somebody shine a light. I'm frozen by the fear in me. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. So cut me from the line, dizzy, spinning endlessly. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me.
I'm going to nerd out super right now. Listen to the way that Lzzy is ending her vocal lines. Sometimes she'll do a break after, so me, and she'll have what's called a shadow vowel. A shadow vowel is like a schwa. Is the sound of a schwa. And sometimes when we end a consonant, or we can do it in a vowel, in this case, me, instead of shatter me, and she'll have an right after the me. She chooses sometime to have that break and shadow vowel afterwards to add additional expression. And sometimes she chooses to just leave it be and land straight on a me. That is intentional. That's really, really cool to hear. She did the same thing earlier off of, I think it was a G, where she did G and had another shadow vowel. But she's had ends where she ended just N and not N. And so that was, again, intentional to end it clean without any shadow vowel at the end. Really interesting to hear that much specificity in a shadow vowel.
Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. Shatter me.
I love that cry at the end.
Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. If I bring the glass, then I'll have to fly. There's no one to catch me if I take a dive. I'm scared of change and the days stay the same. The world is spinning, but only in gray.
I love that through this section, you can hear how deliberately Lzzy is using the air. It's consistent. It's happening all the time. One of the mistakes I see most often in vocalists is that they won't continue to use their air the whole time. They'll kind of use it for important words and then they'll stop energizing through the air. You can hear consistency, like that Lzzy's voice is continuing all the time. It's low notes. Low notes actually need more air than high notes, by the way. That's just your vocal folds when they're moving at a slower speed. That creates a low note. They whack a in a slower way. And while they're doing that, they have more time to open up and more air can come through them. When it's higher notes, tighter, longer folds, essentially, they can let less air through. So you need more energy, usually for high notes, because that means that there's more air pressure, more need for a system of low support for those high notes. Low notes, you need less air. You tend to need like more warmth. And sometimes you need to think about getting your bellows to just go a little bit more to keep that consistency. And that's what Lzzy is doing here. So check this out again.
If I bring the glass, then I'll have to fly. There's no one to catch me if I take a dive. I'm scared of change and the days stay the same. The world is spinning, but only in gray. If I bring the glass, then I'll have to fly. There's no one to catch me if I take a dive. I'm scared of change and the days stay the same. The world is spinning, but only in gray.
Nice. And when she got quieter, then she took a little bit less of that pressure away, essentially, which helps reduce the volume. Very, very, very great usage of air there. Also, look at the amazing, her mouth is so active. A lot of singers think, oh, singing is just like speaking. But singing is elongated speaking. So when you make a word, you need to use your whole mouth to make it even more clear. Look at, just watch her mouth here. It's really active.
If I bring the glass, then I'll have to fly. There's no one to catch me if I take a dive. I'm scared of change and the days stay the same. The world is spinning, but only in gray.
Oh, nice pizzicato. Ooh. That pizzicato edition was really awesome. Pizzicato is when you pluck at a string, essentially. It almost sounded like little pinpricks of glass if they were to be shattered. I like that effect. It's interesting to hear a little bit of essentially like, what's it called? Shoot. It's like a sort of visualization due to musicality, word painting. That's what I'm looking for. There's a little bit of word painting going on from an instrumentalist point of view in that violin there with that pizzicato. I just want to take a look at the lyrics in the bridge here. This was cool. If I break the glass, then I'll have to fly. There's no one to catch me if I take a dive. I'm scared of changing. The days stay the same. The world is spinning, but only in gray. I think that these lyrics are awesome. It's clearly talking about a person who wants to get out of the situation that they're in, but they're scared to do it. Maybe there's a lot of pressure from the world and it feels like they just aren't able to break out. So it's begging somebody else to help break them out of that. I feel like very, very heart-touching and relatable lyrics, whatever the situation is, if it's an eating disorder, or if it's just a habit that a person is in that they're trying to break. I feel like this song is very, very relatable on many different levels. All right, let's keep going.
Somebody shine a light. I'm frozen by the fear in me. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me.
It is interesting to actually look at at Lizzie's jaw. Sometimes the jaw comes more forward. I'm not sure what she's trying to do by achieving that. I'm just noticing it. So usually me and eval would have your jaw a little bit further. Well, with most vowels, your jaw should relax, drop, and it drops down and back a little bit. And maybe I'm wondering if she's using that to help add grit. Not quite sure why it's there. It's not necessary for the vowel formation, but I think there's probably a reason that she's doing it.
Somebody shine a light. I'm frozen by the fear in me. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. So cut me from the line. I'm dizzy, spinning endlessly. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me.
So powerful. Oh, wow. That's some good breath control there. Really good breath control. Loving the up and down arpeggios, essentially, that have been coming from Lindsey this whole time. That if they feel jagged, very agitated, which I think reflects that emotional turmoil that's happening. Listen to this long note from Lzzy too.
Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. Shatter me. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me.
Whoa. 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 Okay, I just want to go back to that very last part because I wasn't ready for it to end. Okay, yeah, I guess it's time for it to end, but I feel like I've been spoiled by metal by, songs that are like at least 8 minutes long. Okay.
Alive and shatter me.
Aw, they like each other. That was a really fun collaboration to watch. You could see that Lindsey and Lzzy were both very much keyed in to each other, and that the two people accompanying them as well, both percussionist and keyboardist, they were also really keyed into the emotion of the piece. They all understood that, yes, they were playing music, but more importantly than that, they were delivering a message. I was very impressed by Lizzy's repeated consistency with that top note on Shatter. There are times when she had a little more or less grit, and that was cool. I think it had a little bit of variety, but at the same time, it was consistently on the right pitch, consistently had a heart-wrenching feel to it, a pleading to it. The rawness of the vocals in here were great, and the biggest treat for me, honestly, was getting to see Lizzy's vocal production up close and with a little more specificity. So once again, thank you to all of you who recommended this. This was such a fantastic video to get to take a look at. And oh boy, especially thank you for those of you that recommended this version where I could really get to see them up close. Super, super fun and intriguing. If you want to keep making recommendations, please do that in the comments down below this video. And you can also come and say hello to me. I'd love to get to know you better. I'm here every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Arizona time. Arizona's weird during time changes. Make a note of that. And also you can find me on Patreon. Or if you want to learn more about singing or just learn how to appreciate music more in general, I have courses about that on thecharismaticvoice.com. I'll see you somewhere soon.